TIFU by looking in the state patrol tent after a major accident. Edit. The man killed his wife before committing suicide. Update. Man killed his wife prior to his death. Yesterday, I was stuck on the I-90 for 2+ hours. Not how I wanted to spend my day. But when I was able to watch an entire episode of Breaking Bad at a full stop, I realized whatever happened ahead of us was severe. Was overjoyed when things finally started moving. I wasn't the one driving. So once we were passing whatever happened, I was looking around. By this point, the incident was over 2 hours ago. But there was no car debris in the road. None. I then peered in the state patrol's white tent. Shouldn't have. I saw a body. Very nauseous. Shaken up after that. I haven't seen a body before, come to find out this morning. A man had walked in front of a semi. Link attached. TLD, or don't look in white tents after an accident that holds up traffic that long. Don't. Article. Few years back I lived on the 3rd floor of an apartment that faced the main road. I was on the balcony smoking one night when I saw a motorcycle sliding down the road right under me. Sparks everywhere, and then came the tumbling body just sliding and flipping. I ran down and got to her before her 2 companions made the U-turn. There was a long median. As I ran up to her, her forehead was split down the middle, completely exposing her brain, and it looked to be swelling through her skull. Her dad slid on his knees in the street and her husband immediately started CPR. Cops came and I went back to my place. Spent the next few hours watching them block off the scene and do their investigating and whatnot. And she was right under my balcony the whole time, just lifeless. Next day a cross popped up on the side of the road with flowers and stuffed animals. Mom of 3. Fucked me up for a while. Your first one is bad. Talk to someone about it soon. The army says you have 72 hours after seeing something really bad to talk about it. Our PTSD sets in. I remember vividly the lake of blood, slowly congealing, surrounding my knifed neighbor. He pulled through. I had classic PTSD, self-blaming, etc. for some time after that. I had to talk to many people afterwards to correct it. Now I know that what I did, flagging down the ambulance in a huge apartment complex, helped save his life. I was not responsible for missing the knife wound in his back that needed immediate surgery. That's the doctor's job. Oddly enough, I ran into him at Micro Center 20 years later. We went to lunch. He definitely remembered me and what had happened. 2 bad guys were trying to steal his dad's truck and he confronted them without a gun. And they knifed him. Wow. This comes across as incoherent. It really did rattle me. When I was 14 I came home one day to find a lot of people crowding in front of my building. I was curious and went to see what's the fuss. It was a young man who committed suicide by jumping off of the building. Don't know which floor. The building had 16 total. His brain was splattered on the concrete. Had to get therapy after that. Oof. My brother is a police officer and got called to the scene of an accident involving a garbage collector and his truck. It was a very small town, with only one guy in the truck. He went to go pick up some trash cans to throw them in, but forgot to set the brakes on the truck. Or they failed maybe. And the truck started rolling down the street. He tripped and fell under the tire in such a way that the pressure from the tire rolling over his head popped his brain out of his head like a champagne cork. By the time my brother got there, the guy's brain was just lying in the road with a crashed garbage truck down the street from it. There wasn't anything he could except keep chasing the seagulls away that were trying to eat the brain until someone qualified to deal with that mess arrived. I was heading to work one morning back in February and traffic was fine, then abruptly stopped to a slow crawl. A quarter of a mile up, there was a car under a bridge in the slow lane. We passed on the shoulder as everyone else in that lane was doing, and there was a body in front of the car. Turns out someone had just committed suicide by jumping off the overpass. I unfortunately saw the body up close and very well. It had just happened like a minute before too. No emergency vehicles were even on scene yet. Very sad to see. I was 9 or so getting a haircut, and a guy was working on the roof across the street. Small street. Maybe 15 yards from where I was. Metal ladder. With power lines incredibly close. Don't remember if the haircut ever was finished, but I heard the zap him hitting the ground, but most of all the smell. I will never, ever forget the sound and then that smell. Performed CPR on a 9 or so month old. Seeing that lifeless little guy still haunts me. That kind of trauma you can get past, but not get over. I saw the guy that got hit by a semi on the same road 90/94ths looking for his wedding ring a few years back. Dude was in multiple pieces. My mom taught us to look away from accidents when we pass, and I still enforce it. No matter how curious I am, I look away. It's disrespectful to gawk, and I know I'll regret it. First day of a co-op. Third or fourth one. In college. Got backed up on the highway for a few hours. When I was driving by, they were just then putting sheets, or whatever they were, over the driver's side door to cover the guy that hit the windshield while driving. Saw him popped all over the windshield, and a sheet over a spot on the median and over the passenger side windshield. Turns out husband and wife died trying to turn around on the highway. And wheel. Turned out, the wife was somehow decapitated when she went through the windshield. Dude was exploded like a Tarantino movie all over the windshield. At 21. Disturbingly enough, that was not the worst accident I had seen by then that I wasn't involved in. I was never involved in more than a fender bender, but had seen worse just being stuck in the resulting traffic. In the article, I've always wondered why in situations like this they say the driver wasn't injured. On another note, the police explorers are so nice. I was driving down to my in-laws' house this weekend and I-95 was closed completely down. But there didn't seem to be any road work going on. Well, when I got to the in-laws, I stupidly mentioned this fact to her brother, who was an EMT in the next tow over for a long time. He says, "Oh yay. I was just listening to that. It was guy on a motorcycle versus 2 SUVs. Play Tetris." I recall reading somewhere that playing Tetris for a bit every day can be very helpful in trauma and PTSD recovery. Irk, though, the longer you wait after the event to start playing Tetris, the less effective it is. Wish you all the best. Everyone who films traffic accidents should be forced to look into the tent. Damn. I dunno what's crazier, what you did, or the actual story of what happened. Should post this in Wisconsin if you haven't.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.